O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine trying to hand a rigid corporate HR manual to a rowdy, blood-stained crew of 17th century pirates and just expecting them to suddenly follow strict rules of engagement.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Right. But that is basically what happened to European armies in 1649, all because of this one massive legal document, Charles de Mansfeldt's military treatise, the Magisterium Militare. Our mission today is to figure out how this single book transformed, chaotic mercenary bands into the disciplined militaries you see today.
It was a massive shift. I mean, the timing of this book dropping is really the crucial part. It was published right on the heels of the 1648 Peace of Westphalia.
Which was the end of the 80 Years' War, right?
Exactly. So you have the Army of Flanders, which is like the absolute military powerhouse of the Spanish Habsburgs, suddenly facing peace. They had just waged 8 decades of devastating total war, and practically overnight they had to transition from a decentralized war machine into a peacetime professional legal structure.
Which, sounds impossible. Okay, let's unpack this. Because you have a massive multinational army out there. Spaniards, Italians, Germans, Walloons, and earlier military manuals were just basically geometry textbooks.
Yeah, mostly about how to arrange pikes or, build fortifications.
Right. So how does a book of laws magically control tens of thousands of armed, battle-hardened mercenaries better than an actual weapon?
Well, it worked because Mansfeldt shifted the focus from physical geometry to what we could call moral geometry. He realized you couldn't just ask mercenaries nicely to behave.
Definitely not going to work.
Right. You had to build an inescapable system.
Yeah.
So to govern this international conglomerate, he combined the universal, timeless authority of ancient Roman law with local Belgian customs. And in doing so, he laid out a really functional distinction between two concepts, deus in jurisdictio.
Wait, okay, those are abstract Latin concepts. How does that actually play out in a muddy military camp?
So think of ICES as the actual rule book. It's the substantive laws dictating, like enlistment contracts, how to divide the booty, or strictly stating, no looting civilians.
Okay, so the actual do not do this list.
Exactly. Jurisdictio, on the other hand, is the legal authority to administer justice. It's what actually gave a commander the official power of a judge, a real magistrate, to hang a soldier if they broke that rule book.
I see. So a law stops being just an arbitrary whim of whoever holds the biggest sword.
Yeah, and by establishing official courts-martial, the soldiers knew punishment was a guaranteed systematic legal consequence.
Wow, okay. So the commanders were suddenly bound by the law too.
Precisely. It systematized discipline. This framework essentially birthed the modern military legal officer, the auditor, to make sure commanders acted as magistrates rather than just arbitrary warlords.
So that solves the internal problem of controlling the soldiers on the ground. But enforcing this was also, a massive PR problem, wasn't it? If you're a civilian who just suffered through 80 years of pillaging, a Latin rule book isn't going to make you feel safe.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right. So how did they convince the public and the educated elites to actually trust this new standing army?
That is where the visual branding of the book itself played a complete masterstroke. The publishers used the title page to literally sell this concept of a tamed military.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because we're looking at this engraving by Antoon van der Does, printed at the famous Golden Bible Press in Antwerp.
Yeah, such a striking image.
Right. It features a sitting lion, the Leo Belgicus, representing the strength of the state. But crucially, instead of just looking fierce, the lion is holding a legal scroll.
Exactly. The law isn't a cage built around the lion.
The law is literally in its claws. It's like might directed by...
Yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that image really reassured nervous civilians. It showed them that this terrifying military power was finally constrained by civil rights.
Proportionality, basically.
Exactly. State strength was now moderated by law rather than sheer brute force.
So what does this all mean for you listening today? This isn't just dusty history. Mansfeldt's 1649 framework is the direct foundation of modern courts martial, just war theory, and the professional discipline that dictates global conflicts right now.
It really is. We went from the military being a blunt, unpredictable weapon to a heavily regulated institution. But Mansfeldt used that image of a lion clutching a scroll to legitimize a terrifying new era of state power.
Just dressing up rigid legal structures and symbols of natural strength.
Right. Which leaves a fascinating question for you to ponder. What are the visual symbols, or, the unwritten magisteriums, that secretly govern the modern institutions you place your unquestioning trust in today?